welcome to our company-wide sales meeting in August. We are so excited to have everybody here. We've got a lot of things to get through and a great panel coming up. So we'll do our company announcements, upcoming events, market updates, and then of course the amazing agent panel that we put together. A lot of great wisdom from that group of folks. So super excited for that. We're going to start off with welcoming some new agents and staff that we've had come on board since our last meeting. In Grand Junction, we've had Rihanna and Medley, and Nikki Mativa has come back to join us. So welcome to all of you. In Bozeman, they've had quite a few. We've got Chelsea, Ryan, Nicole, Chris, Ryan again, and Rachel. So congratulations to joining the team. Durango, we've got Julie, and in Mancos, Jesse. And Overland Park, Keenan. In Vale, we've got Lindsay and Amy. And in Twin Falls, and Renee, Joey, and Avery. So welcome to all those fabulous agents. We're looking forward to having you on our team and part of our family. And then, of course, we've had some great additions to our staff over the last couple months. We've got Michelle Guida, our agent concierge in Vale, Nicole Farley as part of our Prime Properties Grand Junction team, Emily Wubel in Bozeman, Madison Cole just joined us as a receptionist in Grand Junction, and Nick Duffy is our commercial accounting admin. So welcome to all of you, and we look forward to working with you and some great things from that group of people. I'm going to turn it whoops. And a great big congratulations to our very own Sarah Donaldson for her promotion to VP of Operations. I've got my paddle. Who's got their paddle? Here we go.
Gosh, where'd my
Cheers
paddle go?
Yes. And with that, we are going to turn it on over to Miss Sarah.
Well, thank you. It looks like we also have an agent, Amy Herbert in Durango, Heather said, so they must have just onboarded her. So welcome to her as well.
Oh, I think I had her under Vale. My apologies. She's on there.
Oh, cool. Now you get it twice. Perfect.
Sorry about that. My bad.
So fun to see all those little babies in our little loop. So congratulations to everyone who has all those new family members. They're so cute. And I love the little CB onesie. That was a cute touch as well. So congratulations to all of our Blue Bucks contest winners. That was really exciting. It was fun to be a part of. We had so many people trying to earn their raffle tickets. The anticipation of trying to see who is going to be drawn out of the hat was really fun as well. So we have about 16, 17 winners that are going to be joining us in Gen Blue. So congratulations. We're excited for that. And if we can go to the next one, but if your ticket wasn't drawn, don't worry, there's still time to register for Gen Blue. We had a company goal of trying to get about 50 of our agents to go. So we are close, everyone. We're at 44. So please, 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 if you want to hear amazing speakers, you'll have impactful breakout sessions. The networking is going to be fantastic. You will be submersed in the Coldwell Banker culture. And as we've heard from the testimonials from Engage, how well the connecting was and the networking and the referral business that people have received, along with just new friendships. So that alone is worth it. But I guess if you are just in it for the social aspect, we've got you covered there. We'll have some CBDP only events that you can hang out with our fearless leader and have a cocktail or two with him, along with, apparently there is an epic street party that will be at the end. AJR will be, if you don't know who AJR is, everyone knows their song Bang or Way Less Sad. So at least you will know 2 or 3 songs. It's going to be a street party, and it'll be located at the Deuce, which is also getting a lot of fame right now, just being on the Food Network. So visit genblueexperience.com, help us reach our goal. We've got about six more people that we need to get going with us. It should be fun. So we are excited to be down there. Yes, cheers of excitement, Teresa. I also wanted to remind everyone that our final coaching session is going to be underway. We have signups for the next 2 weeks. It'll close August 26th. It'll be a 10-week session starting September 8th through the 17th. There will be one-on-one coaching opportunities, group sessions available. It's a really great way to grow your business at any stage that you are in with your career. You could be a new agent, you could be a veteran, it's a really good good opportunity. Take advantage of it. It's one of the things that we offer here that I just think personally is exceptional. So if you have any questions with GenBlue, or if you need help registering, I'm happy to assist you. Let me know. Reach out to me, ask your MD, or if you need any help with registering for coaching, again, reach out. You can register on Linktree, and I think the JOT form also will be in the chat. So that's all we have from an ops standpoint. I think I'm going to hand it to Todd for some agent shout outs.
Okay. Oh yeah, the top of the top. Individual agents, the Big Fin, Eric Flanius, Cade Embry, Mike Foster, commercial extraordinaire, Mark Harrison, who it kills me. Great job, Mark. Mark works about 6 months of the year. Jared Nixon, of course. As far as teams are concerned, number one team currently year to date, the Yazbek team. 2, Schaefer. Number 3, Get Shook. Number 4, the Valerie Myers team. And number 5, to round out the top, VCK Group. So great job. So we're going straight into the panel, and I know we're all on a short leash, if you will. We want to make sure that we honor time, and as you can expect, these 4 might have seen their names on those top 5s. Are extremely busy. So I want to make sure that we honor them and cut right to it. But here's the thing, right? I've got 2 like sort of stories that are in my head this morning. But as I go through and I look at all of the different sources, for those of you that have been through my beast mode morning sort of deal, you know that part of my morning routine is I read quote unquote news. Now, that used to just mean what it meant, right? When it used to be that I could say, hey, I read the news today, and you actually meant I read stuff that was factually based and was honest. That doesn't mean the same thing today. So I want to be careful. I will go out to a bunch of different sources. Some of them are National Association of Realtors, Inman, KCM, Coldwell Banker, all kinds of different things, and look for headlines to better understand what's going on. Here's the crazy thing, right? And here's just a couple of them, right? I just, hold on one second here. Home prices down from peak, first time in 22 years, right? The inference on all of these is that the sky is falling. And the one thing I know for sure is that the one thing that is constant in the real estate business is change. It always goes up. It always goes down. Occasionally it goes flat. We don't like the flat, but up and down is normal. And so we thought it might be really interesting to bring some of the folks, the best of the best, not only in our organization, but in the industry, to come and talk to all of us and share a little bit about their experiences, share a little wisdom about what a changing market means, and from a mindset perspective, how they see it. From an actions perspective, what actions are working for them? What did they learn in the previous downturns? By the way, some of them have been through more than one, right? And so, we can just sprinkle a little maybe confidence in this. But this, one of the stories that always comes to my mind is the David and Goliath. And so David and Goliath is this story, for those of you who don't know, that this little sheep herder kid comes in and supposedly just accidentally kills this giant, right? Well, I kind of look at it differently. I get something different from it. What I got from it was that you've got this sheep herder kid who was so good at throwing a stone that he could kill bears and lions and do anything to protect his sheep. So by the time he got to the field, the battlefield with the Philistines, he looked at Goliath as though he was a guy that brought a knife to a gunfight. And that comes from the confidence and the experience that these gentlemen on this call all have, where they go into a changing market, not in fear, but I mean, I know at least 2 of them I've had personal conversations with are like, oh yeah, baby, let's go. So with that, why don't we go around the horn and just really quickly, guys, if you would just name how long you've been in the business and what market you're in, and let's start with Mr. Yazbek.
Hey, good morning. Robert Yazbek in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Been in the business about 16 years.
Beautiful. Olin.
Olin Clark, Grand Junction office, 34 years.
34. Mr. Nixon.
Jared Nixon, Durango, and I'm going on 18.
And the Big Fin.
Eric Felanius in Telluride, started in the business here in 1981 as interest rates hit 21%.
Love it. I love it.
Mhm.
So gentlemen, and Eric, why don't we stick with you here for a second? So from a mindset perspective, like, listen, we know the market's changing. We see the inventory is going up. You and I just had a conversation, about the inventory in Telluride. We see property staying in the market longer, and it's debatable as to what's going to happen to the actual prices. But while everybody's talking about the fear, how do you deal with that? What are you expecting?
Well, first of all, I get up every morning and I work out, because that's number one for me. I have to have a clear mind and a healthy body in order to do what I do. And I would encourage all of you during a downturn, especially, to take care of yourselves first. It's the best thing you can do, and you'll feel better going into each day. Going into this market is it's fine. We just have to be more attentive. We have to know absolutely everything that's going on in our market every day. I look at the MLS several times a day, and watching the trends is super important. Having a very strong sense for pricing is absolutely critical. The subject that Todd and I talked about when he stopped by last week was, in this market, as market values level off, I said sellers are typically the last ones to realize that the market has leveled off. And because of the spectacular 2 years that we've just gone through, the asking price curve tends to continue going up vertically. And what happens when you have a market that flattens off and asking prices that keep climbing is you end up with a spread between the asking price and fair market value that's really too great for the market to absorb. I always think in terms of the real estate market, similarly to the stock market, having sort of a life of its own, and the market will look at our asking prices, and because the spread is too great, let's say it's more than 10%, the market determines that it can't make up the difference. It cannot negotiate down to a fair market value, and that's when our market grinds to a halt. So the most important thing is we're all going to have an opportunity to list more properties. That's just natural in this cycle. What everyone has to make absolutely sure of is that you price it correctly, and you price it according to fair market value, because if you follow the trend of asking prices, you're going to be sitting on listings that just can't sell. So my opening thoughts.
Stuff. Yeah, no, that's good stuff. It's catching the market, right? And so that was, as Eric and I were talking about, he's like, so if this is the market, you're trying to catch it, it's going up, well, you go high. But if the market's going down, you can't catch the market up here. You got to catch the market down here, right? So love it.
Yeah, exactly. One other, in addition to that, Todd, at least at this point, I'm not seeing any change in market value. And tell your clients this, because they're going to look in the newspaper, they're going to get emails from brokers that say price drop. That is not a fair market value drop. That's an asking price drop that they're going to get used to seeing. And because of that, they think that the sky is falling. Well, I don't think we're, at least in the resort markets, I don't think we're going to see market value drops, but we'll see asking prices dropping for sure.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I hope you guys heard what he just said. So pricing is really important. And number two, your opportunity to get more listings is now, right? Like we've all been fighting, quote unquote, the listing battle, but really what we've been fighting is the buyer battle, right? We needed more buyers. We needed better guidance of those buyers so that they had a better shot of winning. That's maybe changing potentially. And now's the opportunity for us to get out and get more listings. Olin, so are you
Yes, sir.
afraid? And why or why not?
Am I afraid?
Yeah, are you afraid of this change?
No, not at all. And I guess part of the reason why is because we track the market constantly, as you know, Todd. Jimmy and I track it every week. We track monthly stats. We look at year to date versus last year. So we know what's going on in the market. And Eric's right, the values have not gone down. The rate of appreciation has dropped slightly here in Mesa County. But no, I'm not afraid. This is opportunity. This is an opportunity to shine in your profession and stand out above the crowd. Sorry, wrong company, but it works. You know, the bottom line is you got to get up, you got to be positive, you got to go to work, you got to get out of bed, you got to get dressed, you got to go for a walk, you got to go read the Bible, you got to go work out. I mean, you don't lay around and think it's not gonna change. I mean, change is constant in this world, as we all know. It seems like it's flying at our faces a lot faster than it used to, however. But no, not afraid. I did have about 6 weeks in June going into July. I couldn't get a contract put together to save my life. And that was kind of a change that I wasn't used to. But in the last 3 weeks, it's blown up and it's just gone nuts. And so I think the initial shock of the buyers in the market with the interest rate increases that happened so quickly, they've kind of gotten over a little bit. And I think they're back out on the hunt again. And what's nice about having inventory that's sitting on the market a little bit longer, they actually have a chance to get out and look at it before it goes under contract. So
yeah,
you know,
this is good for the buyers, right?
Coming out of this. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, really good for the buyers. So Robert, so you got into the business like, well, you and I, our timing is great, right? Robert and my timing is great. We got into the business when things were in fuego, right? And then you spent the majority of your career in a down market. What did you learn? And what are you going to do with that stuff that you learned now?
Oh man, I learned so much in the down market. I'd only been in the business about 1.5 years, and it was just, you know, gangbusters, and I thought it would never end. And I was obviously really young at that point. So, you know, I didn't have any systems and processes in place. I literally didn't have a website or a database or a CRM or anything, you know. So I learned that you need to have those things in place, right? You need to have a team, support, systems, processes, a plan, right? That kind of stuff. But I think the probably the bigger thing I learned was, you know, at that time I was young and dumb and you know, just foolish and thinking that it wasn't going to end. And basically I just went and started spending all the money I had made for 1.5 years on remodeling a house, and just figured the phone would ring eventually, you know, and I just kind of hid, you know what I mean, and kept doing the same thing, and, you know, talking my wife into, you know, everything's gonna be fine, right? The phone will ring, don't worry, like we're good. But that didn't happen, obviously, for, you know, 4 years basically. So now, you know, instead of waiting and not doing anything, right, we're planning and reacting and, you know, preparing and shifting and doing things differently, right? And figuring out what's working, what's not, testing new things, and, you know, we're working smarter and harder to overcompensate, right? Over-index to make sure we, you know, thrive through the turning market.
It was interesting because in Steamboat, the worst of the years was 11, I think 12, right in there, right? And so I was going back and looking at numbers. So for those of you that don't know, Robert did just shy of $80 million in sales last year. And I was looking back like 10 years prior, and I'm not sure he hit $3 million in sales, and it was 11 or 12. I can't remember which one. So the guy knows how to build and scale a business. So I love it. So Jared, kind of the same question, to you. So mentally, it's hard when we have all of these, all the news, all the headlines, they're all negative, right? Like, oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end. Oh my gosh, interest rates are so high. Oh my gosh, inventory. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So what are you doing to, number one, like sort of shield yourself from that chaos? And how are you delivering your message to your clients?
Tequila.
Tequila. I love that.
Lots of tequila. Yeah. Get up in the morning, first thing, and just coast through the day.
We all thought it was coffee.
I guess I don't. My perception of this, it's not a down market. It's not going to a down market. I feel like it's a changing market, and there's some. I just echo what the other three guys said. There's opportunities out there. One thing that I'm kind of looking forward to is that we don't have 20 offers on every property right now, so it's giving buyers an opportunity to take a little bit of time and digest what they're seeing out there. I think we're seeing a pullback in the number of buyers, but again, values aren't really going down. It's just a shift, and I think the message right now for buyers is that you can't really listen to what the media is saying. You're not going to go in and lowball a bunch of listings and get a deal put together. It's still the values are there. We, for the first time in Durango since January, are now under 100% of asking price. In July was the first time, but it's 99.9. I mean, it's still, there's not bargains out there. And I agree with with the philosophy for the sellers, that we've got to be in front of the trends that are going right now. And they're not a truer statement than what's fair market and asking price. And we were able to put a sign in the yard and, put it in MLS, and you had, tons of offers, and you could put any price on it. You put stupid prices on it, people were still, paying those. So I think it's important to have that message with the sellers up front that, hey, we want to be in front of the market. You don't want to be chasing the market right now. And things are just going to kind of, I believe, at least for Durango right now, it appears that things are just, the dust is kind of settling and we're getting into more of a plateau. But I don't see this as a down market. I don't perceive it's going to be a down market. I think our biggest challenge, I've been through a couple of downturns, got into business in 2004 and wrote it up. And then we went through all of that. And you've got to prepare for what the next step's going to be or what's coming. And, in 2008, I was the first person in Durango to get certified to do short sales. I saw that coming and where that opportunity was going to be. I don't see that coming down in the next couple of years here. What I see is there's going to be fewer buyers and there's way more agents out there. So what we have to do is step up our game and show that value proposition. And I think by, just service is going to be the difference. You've got to figure out a way to differentiate yourself with the guy next door. And I think that's where you're going to be, all of us will be successful moving forward.
It's beautiful. That was literally my next question. So the action that you're going to take to ensure that you get your unfair share of the business through this changing market is upping your game, upping your service game.
Absolutely.
Love it. Brilliant. Robert, what about you? Like if you had to answer that same question. So knowing what you know from your past, learning what you've learned as we go into the shifting market today, like what's your go-to to get your unfair share of the business?
Part of my philosophy is you can always take market share, right? I mean, there's less buyers, obviously. Prices, I think, sounds like we're all in agreement, are either going to keep going up or flatten. we don't get paid on, values really. That doesn't really matter. We get paid on transactions, right? So less transactions, we got to take more market share. So I think you got to double down on what's working, right? And continue to get really good at, what's working well, and then figure out where the opportunities are, right? I'm excited, about the shifting market. Doesn't matter what market we're in, everybody's going to be complaining about something, right? Excited about something else. If there's, too many buyers, not enough sellers, too many sellers, not enough buyers, whatever it is, right? There's always a challenge. So, I mean, to be a buyer's agent, shout out to my team, right? To be a buyer's agent in the last couple of years has been hard, I mean, it's like every deal's been multiple offers. It's been agonizing at times, so there's opportunity now because there's more properties on the market. They're sitting on the market longer. From a listing perspective and marketing perspective, I'm excited to get those listings. I think Eric was talking about it, it's going to be easier, but there's so much opportunity in that, right? I mean, with more inventory, especially if you price them right, you can actually do an open house before it sells, and you can actually market the property before it sells. So having some inventory that we control, that we're marketing, you're one of the people that taught me that originally, is that's the thing you need to market the most is your listings, because you're serving your clients, right? So having listings stay on the market a little longer is a huge opportunity. Do more open houses, do more marketing, that kind of stuff. And, just sharpen your sales skills, sharpen your scripts, role play, that kind of stuff. So you can get the price right. You can, win the deal, set your buyer up for the right, deal, have the seller buy down the rate, right? So you can not worry about the rate conversation. I mean, it's exciting because there's just so many opportunities, I believe.
I love that. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna pivot here for just 1 second, and maybe we'll just do kind of a real rapid fire deal here. 3 lead sources that you recommend mastering. This is from Jimmy Klieger. That you would recommend mastering as we move into a shifting market. 3 go-to lead sources. Robert.
Open houses, Google My Business, and let's see. I would say, what would the third be? I mean, social and video, whatever your preferred.
Beautiful.
Channel.
Olin.
Past clients, customers. Past clients, customers. Staying in touch with them.
There you go. All 3 of them.
Know the market. Let your people know what's going on in the market. Because even, said this before, even if they're not in the market today, they want to know what's going on with real estate. Because real estate is a leading economic indicator for their area. Grand Junction's predicted to grow by 50% in the next, now just a little less than 30 years. And I don't see that changing. I think COVID has exacerbated people leaving metropolitan areas, headed to the rural parts of the country. All 4 of us work in those areas that people are targeting right now. So, there's going to be a lot of referrals coming out of your sphere of influence, out of your past clients and customers, and other brokers. I don't know about you guys, but we are getting a lot of brokers sending referrals over here from the eastern slope of Colorado. And so
I got a text message yesterday where there were three referrals sent to Grand Junction yesterday, or not Grand Junction, Colorado yesterday.
Yep.
So
Eric, that's a great source.
Yeah, for sure. The I love that, broker to broker. Eric, 3 go-tos.
What they said. I think the key for us is communicate. I fully agree that you have to go back to everyone you've worked with, everyone know the inventory, make sure that a lot of our clients have been on the back burner a little bit over the last couple of years because things were moving so fast. And I think we're going to move into a cycle where, again, patience will pay dividends for our buyers. And it's up to us as brokers to be so aware of the market that if something comes available, we know exactly who's the right buyer for that property. It is interesting, though, that we're seeing more open houses. For a couple of years, we didn't see any open houses. And
Right.
now all of a sudden there's some lunches happening, and it's good.
Right. It's exciting. I mean, all of a sudden we're out seeing people, and yeah, it's very interesting.
So I think what's going to happen is we're going to look at the last 2 years as the COVID years. It's going to be a separately defined real estate market of our careers. And actually what we're experiencing right now is we're returning to normal. We're going to return to a more normal period of time where we have our buyers and our sellers, and we do our open houses and we do our marketing. It's just going to become more normal. One comment on interest rates. It's all relative. I said I started in the business in 81 when interest rates hit 21%. Josephine and I bought our first real estate at that time and ended up with a low-income loan at 9.25%. And we thought that we had just absolutely nailed it. So yeah, interest rates are a little high right now. Yeah, they're fine. Money's still reasonable. It's all relative.
Love that. Love that. Jared, your go-to 3.
Probably the biggest source of business for me is my referral network, and that's broker to broker. And, it's not something that you're going to build overnight. It's, years and years, but I spent 10 years on our board of directors locally and at the state level, and that has paid dividends for me. So that would be one thing that I would, you kind of get a two-pronged approach on that. Your benefits, you're benefiting your industry. It gives you an opportunity to be, you're on the front line of everything that's happening as far as being able to answer your clients' questions. So there's that benefit. But, I get numerous referrals. I just got a really big one out of from the president of the New Mexico Association. So I would say get involved with your board if you can, go to the networking opportunities. And I think leveraging our other offices is huge.
Beautiful. I know you're also a Google My Business fan. I think you also participate in some other sort of relocation lead sources. That's been important. So hopefully, Jimmy, go ahead.
Had great success off of the distinctive, referrals.
Great.
Hey, to answer Jimmy's question, yes, expireds are coming back. Expireds should be thrown in there.
Yeah, 100%, right? I think Jeff just put on there, just in the Bozeman market over the next 19 days, there are 122 properties listings set to quote unquote expire. So I love that.
And those sellers are pissed off and nervous and scared and gonna flee to quality, right? If you can explain why you're gonna do a better job, you're the better person. I think expireds will be easier than they have been in the past.
Okay, so that was a great lead in, right? So it's the big if. So we know that the world has been really, really simple. And while I'm sort of framing this as what would you say to an agent who's been in the business for less than 2.5 years, really I'm talking to all of us because let's face it, sometimes we get a little lazy. Sometimes we kind of get into a flow, and that's not normal, right? The last 2.5 years have not been normal. And so my question to you all is, how do you answer after the if? If you can explain to a consumer that you have the solution, if you can tell them that you're the right choice, that you're going to provide a different outcome or a better outcome, or that's the big if. So what are your sort of talking points? What would you tell you if you were brand new to the business and going into a market that was changing? Like, how are you going to deliver that? Robert, I want to start with you, just because I know that this is something that you are training heavily on with your team. Like, as you said, there's a lot of customers that are out there that are watching the news and they're going, holy smokes. I had somebody yesterday, it was a funeral yesterday, okay? And I had people come up to me at the funeral and say, did I miss it? And I'm like, did you miss what? And they're like, did I miss the peak? And I go, I'll let you know. Right. But you know, like they're all asking the same questions. What are you saying?
Know the market really well, you know, become a real expert with the numbers so you can sit there next to somebody when you get the opportunity to sit next to somebody at the bar or whatever, they want to talk real estate, you can actually talk intelligently about it. That's really, really, really important. Can't be too prepared. And then I would say, don't underestimate how much work and how hard the business is, right? If it was easy, everybody be doing it, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna be harder than you think to get over the hump and succeed and last in the business. So get ready for that. And I would say, you know, go to conferences and like get out of your markets and, you know, meet other people and network and mastermind and stuff like that. So you can, you know, bring back different ideas and be able to be innovative and understand what's kind of actually cutting edge as far as marketing and markets and that kind of stuff. So you can, you know, begin to develop like your unique, you know, value proposition to be innovative and come across as an expert.
I love that. So that was a huge plug for Gem Blue, by the way, but it's also others. And Robert is a big believer in coaching. I don't know if you want to spend just a second and kind of share, obviously going into a changing market, a lot of people start cutting instead of investing. So what are your thoughts there?
Oh yeah, definitely invest. I mean, it'll be hard to make it if you just cut, and especially if you're new. Coaching's huge. Yeah, Todd got me into coaching. We all coach with Tom Ferry, you know, coaches, and it's key. I mean, it's the best money we spend, I think, every month without a doubt. Particularly going in the shifting market, particularly if you're a new agent, you really don't know what's going on and what to expect. Having somebody, you know, seasoned and trained and, you know, in your corner is, I think, the most valuable thing you can do.
Amen. All right, Jared, I know you got a hard stop. Jared's got some folks he's got to take out and show some property. So I'm gonna hit you next here. So what are you telling yourself if you are a new agent today?
You know, I think
you
that you've got to, I look at myself as a trusted advisor to my clients. So it's just exactly what Robert was saying. You've got to know the market. You've got to know what's, you know, what's trending, what's happening, and have that confidence. And I think you get that through coaching, you get that through mastermind groups, and just, you know, having your finger on the pulse of what's going on out there. So that's the one thing. And then the other is save your money. You know, again, what Robert said, you know, we've had some spectacular years the past couple, but it's going to be harder for all of us. And, you know, I had a conversation with Lindsay and Todd in my office this just yesterday, and we were kind of laughing. Todd said, you know, I had to talk to a client about a price reduction, and I forgot how to do that. Like it's been so long since we've got to do that. So I think you got to practice your scripts, your dialogue, and what your delivery is going to be on those things. And it's been easy for the past 2 years. I mean, it hasn't been a normal market, so it's hard work, and you know, you got to take it seriously. You got to treat it as a job.
I love that. Thank you very much. Olin, what are you telling the youngins of the world, and maybe reminding some of us that aren't so young?
You know, both the guys said it already. Know your market. You know your market by tracking it, by, you know, and you can let the old dogs in the office like myself and others do that for you, because we'll be glad to share it with you. But I become the expert. I mean, and that's one way to become the expert is to know what's going on in the market any given day, where you can talk intelligently to your clients, whether they're sellers or buyers, and just persevere. I mean, especially for the agents that are just gotten into the business. I think everybody for the last 5 years, people have been looking at the realtors and the real estate market going, oh, it's easy pickings now, you know. Well, guess what? It never has been easy. It's still a business. You still have to work it. Like I said, you got to get out of bed in the morning. You got to go to the office. You got to work it. And I know a lot of the younger people don't work in the office per se, but you got to keep your routine going, and don't let fear change your behavior. You need to take control of your business and your life, and don't listen to all the background noise, and just
Love
get
that.
out and work it. I mean, it's see the people. That's what it's all about.
I'm going to come back to the fear thing. Jared, if you need to jump, thank you. I appreciate it. You sort of let me know. We appreciate all of your help here.
I'm good. It's 10:40, not 9:40.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. Oh, we got plenty of time then. All right. So Eric, what are you telling? What are you telling your son? You're muted. Eric, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I had my granddaughter walking around here, so I
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Working with Ian is great. I have learned that there is a great difference between us. He's in his early 30s. I'm in my latter 60s, and he has a lot to teach me, which is fantastic. I bring the experience. I bring a lot of the bullshit to the table. He wants me there when he's speaking with his clients. But boy, with technology, with his understanding of marketing and the internet, photography, videography, flying a drone, as a young broker, you have to learn all those things. And I'm lucky to have Ian, and Ian is lucky to have me, because he is bringing all that new technology to me. I agree with everyone. Know your inventory, understand your market trends, where we've been in the past, what cycles might reflect where we are today. Study, basically. And I agree, endless training. Listen to the experts. Learn your scripts, write your scripts, know your stories, whatever those stories pertain to, whether it's a neighborhood, whether it's, in our case, the history of our community and our ski resort. You have to know those scripts. And I think Ian, watching me, I think that's why he likes to bring me into his conversations. He likes hearing my scripts. And I'm starting to hear him repeating some of the things that I say and developing his own. So it's great. I think for a new agent today, don't give up your day job or your night job, wherever you're fitting real estate in, because you're going to need that. You need that cash flow. You need that cash
That's
flow.
right.
And this is a tough market. In a community like Telluride, there are 2,500 permanent residents in town. There are about 8,000 in the county. We have about 230 agents right now in Telluride. That has bulged for sure. And believe me, over the next couple of years, we'll see that number reduced, because it's expensive to be a broker. You're paying your fees, you're paying for your education. It's not that easy. So yeah, stay with the other job for a little bit.
Let's see, Eric, you mentioned look at the MLS daily, which is pretty straightforward. However, when identifying trends that you are looking at specifically, pending ratio, price per square foot, days on the market, et cetera, what are you looking for?
You know what right now, what I really like to do, because this is good for sellers, is looking at where we were over the last 12 months relative to where we are today. I'll give you one small one that I just saw because I was listing a property. A few months ago, we were down to 4 homes for sale in the town of Telluride. We're now up to 20. And that's, we're a very small community. Our average asking price in town today is about $2,000 a square foot. So they're very pricey. There aren't many of them, but all of a sudden, we've gone from 4 to 20. And I expect that number to increase in all categories. Condominiums, especially if interest rates continue to climb, we're going to see some of the lower inventory come on the market. I noticed in Ridgeway, and this may be true in Montrose also, a lot of price drops. though that market where it's primarily under $1 million, or a lot of it is under $1 million, I think that part of our market is going to get hit a little bit harder. So understanding where we've been recently and where we are today, because I think a lot of our clients are going to be confused by the last 2 years. They can't necessarily differentiate the last 24 months from where we are today, and we've stepped into a new market, no question about it.
Love that. You know, it's interesting. I'm listening to all of you talk, and there is a I don't quite know how to explain it, but there is a calm, cool, and collectedness of your tones, of your scripting. It's confidence. Exactly. There's a confidence in there, and I hope the rest of you on the call are sort of watching this, and it didn't happen by accident. These are people that all have varied. I mean, you can see I've got people that have been in this for 1.5 decades, 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades, right? We've got the whole thing. It didn't happen by accident. Yes, they've got tons and tons of experience, but moreover than that, and you heard the guy who's got the most experience say you need to know your scripts. There might be something to that. Anyway, that's very interesting. So, all right, I want to wrap this. We've got 12 minutes here, and we'll kind of do a rapid fire here with the with the group. But Proverbs 4:23 says that what you consume will consume you. I don't know what version that is, but basically what it's saying is, hey, protect your heart, right? That which comes in, like once you have it, right? And so I was at the leadership conference, and we had the women's UConn basketball coach up on stage as the keynote speaker. Gino, I can't remember what. That guy, right? And he was telling a story, and he said, "Hey, listen, if I had one of those big those big wine drums, a big vats of wine, and it was just beautiful, like whatever your favorite wine, let's just call it Camus, right? It was a beautiful cask of Camus Cabernet, right? And you'd want to drink, right? You want to drink it, but what if I took just a couple of drops of sewage and I put it into the cask of Camus? Would you still want to drink it?" And of course, everybody was like, "No." And yet, isn't it funny how we don't protect our own hearts and our own minds that way? We allow some of this sewage to get in. And so I just wonder that you four are incredibly upbeat, incredibly sort of real, if not straight up optimistic. Like, how do you maintain that? Jared, how do you maintain that?
You fake it. No, it's like anything else in life. I mean, you're gonna. I guess the answer is you try to distance yourself as much as you can from toxic people. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I've kind of learned, in the later years of my career, is that there's some listings that just aren't worth it. There's some people, you can't chase the buck. I guess that's what it is. And I listen to my intuition now. My gut says these people are going to be really difficult to work with. And, you're probably not ever going to meet their expectations. Get them out of your, give them to somebody else, because they're going to be a time suck, and they're going to just, kill your soul. And I think earlier, that would be the advice I'd give a new agent as well. It's like, not every deal is worth chasing. And if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. And you're going to have good days. And I trust me, I've got my share of bad days. And, you just have to kind of push through. And fortunately, I feel very blessed in this career that, I've got a lot more good days than bad days, but I've had good years and I've had bad years. And you just have to kind of keep pushing through.
That's right. Shorten the bad, right? You've learned how to shorten the bad. I love that. Eric, what about you?
Disappointments in our business can be really tough, and sometimes they can be really big. People can be disappointing. What I've learned over the years is our clients can be one way socially, and if you put a dollar bill in front of them, they literally become different people. It's very strange. And so disappointment is something that you just have to become okay with, and you let it roll off you. The other thing for me that's always been very important, and I think this is true living in a small community, I have no enemies. I have no one that I see on the street that I will cross the street not to see them. And I think that's really important. If you can put that out of your mind, if you can put your dislike for someone, if you can forgive people, I feel like I forgive people for whatever. It doesn't matter. I like everyone. I'm comfortable with everyone. I can talk to a homeless person as easily as I can to Oprah. And being comfortable with who you are is it's critical to your longevity in this business. This is a tough business.
I love that. Robert, so how do you protect your heart, stay positive?
I think, having experience, which everybody does personally or professionally, of, where you don't want to be, right? The down moments and the dark parts in your life or whatever. And then obviously, understanding what it's like to be successful and have the bright spots and the positivity, and then just making the decision, right? Like, if you felt the pain enough and you don't want to do it anymore, decide you don't want to do it. And start heading in the right direction, whatever that means for you. And I would say, be careful of what you consume, right? It's a noisy world out there, and the stuff on your phone and on the TV and social is can be really detrimental, but you have control of what shows up on your feed, right, on the social media. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm not on social media that much, but when I flip through mine, it's all positive, right? It's the people I want to hear that are telling me good messages, so be careful what you consume, and consume what you want, depending on the direction you want to go. And then I would say, understand that it's a daily practice. It's not, you can't just make that decision once and you're going to be positive forever. It's every day, right? It's basically a battle, if you will, daily, to make that decision every day and do what it takes.
I love that. That's awesome. And it's a daily consistent battle. That's kind of why I use that wine deal. I thought that was such an interesting sort of analogy, because I think oftentimes we get on social media and we're like, well, it's just one friend, right? I just only have that one friend that rants about stupid shit. And, it's really not that big of a deal, but it is. Like, it's one drop of sewage in a beautiful vat of wine. None of us would drink it. Olin, what about you, man?
I'm naturally pretty positive, and but I'm also human, just like everybody else, and we're dealing with people, and we get disappointed by people at times. And I usually will dwell on it for about 24 hours, trying to figure out what I did wrong, or if I could have done something better. But then I shake it off and keep going. And I think that's what you've got to do. And I think that's what everybody, I don't care how long you've been in the business, you're working with people. It is a people business. I get up every morning, I read the Bible. I don't watch news in the morning, other than maybe the weather. And that can be disappointing at times. It's supposed to be 98 degrees here again today. But anyway, life's too short to dwell on the crap in the world and the negative. And like I said, you just can't let fear take hold, because it'll pull you back, pull you down. And you just surround yourself with people that are working as hard as you are, and people that will lift you up. Coaching is a great way to do that. There's and you just work to stay positive and keep focused on what you're doing each and every day, and just stay away from the the negative stuff that is flying all over the place out there right now. That's for sure.
All over the place,
Yep.
right? All over the place. And hey, listen, right? Like it's how they get paid. So right, it's their job to get eyeballs. So you know, I don't think that people are bad people in the news. I hope not, but for sure that's their job, and they're very, very good at their job. So all right, so I'm gonna say thank you, and then I'm gonna say, hey, add your questions to the chat. We've got a few more minutes here as we wrap up. So there was a lot of stuff in here, right? But number one, you know, your mindset and what you choose to focus on matters. And if you are focusing on the world's coming to an end, well, then that's going to create a different environment for you. If instead you are focusing on, hey, the things are changing and therefore there's some opportunity that happens in all change, then you'll actually be able to see the opportunity. If you don't see it, that falls in that category of blind squirrels getting acorns, right? You've got to see it in order to take advantage of it. Number two, you've got to develop your skill sets. And these are for long-time successful, consistently successful real estate professionals who they're really good at what they do. You can hear it. The confidence and their success has been, I mean, it's undeniable, but they are always working on their skill sets. Number three is a piece where I feel like a lot of people forget, and it's their heart set. It's where is their heart? You can hear it in each and every one of them, whether it be sort of a faith driven, whether it be sort of a spiritual driven, whether it be just wanting to be kind to other people. They all have a really interesting, or whether it be tequila, if you're Jared, but they all have a very interesting sort of positioning of themselves. They're just really fun, comfortable to be around, right? They've got really, really great heart sets. And then of course, these people take lots and lots of action. Don't let their sort of passive, calm demeanor confuse you. You heard many of them talk about how disciplined they are with their morning routines. I would tell you they are disciplined throughout their entire day. These are people that get more done in a shorter period of time than anybody I've ever seen. Hard work, massive action. And then lastly, they do all of these things really consistently. So they guard their heart and their business. So really, really awesome. Were there any questions that came up on this? Great panel. Yes. All right. Open houses. Yes, open houses are back. Eric was just talking about that, but I think they all could have spent some time on open houses. Great. Okay. Does anybody have any one last nugget they want to leave that you were just dying to make sure that you told before we leave?
I'm a really nice guy, but I'll tell you, I'm not nearly as nice as I used to be.
Ooh, I like that.
Real estate is, it's not easy. You just have to, have to stay on track.
Todd, I guess the one thing that I wished I would have said earlier is that as far as keeping a positive attitude is it's really hard and you got to work at it, but you can't take things personally in this business. It's just business. And when you're in small communities like Eric and mine, or all of us, people know 15 realtors and you're not always going to get the business. And if you take it personally that your buddy listed with, Robert instead of me, you're going to drive yourself nuts. So you just can't take it personally.
Love it.
We probably didn't mention sphere and past clients enough. That's a big deal. I think you got to be social and connect with your sphere and your past clients, and cook them dinner, take them out for drinks, like have parties. You know what I mean? Stay involved with your people. That actually know, like, and trust you, so they don't go with a Zillow agent, right?
Yeah. Connect and serve, right? Connect and serve.
You know what I love? Larry Kendall always says in Ninja is that there's no such thing as a past client. You just have clients.
That's right. Unless you want to be their past broker, you probably shouldn't be calling them past clients. It's pretty funny.
That's right.
And one last thing, kind of a joke going into my office. They call me the GOAT. And I think most of you know what GOAT means. I don't necessarily believe that. I changed it to mean God's oldest agent in training. And that's how I feel.
That's
We
good.
all
That's really, that's
continue
great.
to learn. And when you're working with people, you learn all the time. So
Yeah, that's
Oh,
great.
dude, I love that.
Nobody
That
ever
is
knows
so
it all.
good. I
So
love it.
Good closure.
Buddy. All right, you guys. Hey, listen, I love you guys. I really appreciate you doing this. You've done some really, really good stuff for a lot of people. And listen, I hope you all are listening. We talk about changing lives. These guys, if you will do what they're doing, they will change your life. So have a great
and
week.
we're
And
happy to share.
yes,
Always
perfect.
happy to
And
share.
refer some business, right? If
Absolutely.
you have anybody in Telluride, Durango, Steamboat, Grand Junction, these are some pretty good options for you. All right, guys. Thank you.